The entire Essendon fraternity, from Kevin Sheahan down, was crushed when Gavin Wanganeen decided to return to South Australia when Port Adelaide joined the AFL. Understandably so, too. Wanganeen was 23, a premiership player and a Brownlow medalist. Welcome, Gavin.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
Must have been a huge decision for someone so young at the time to give up the powerhouse club in Victoria and go back to Adelaide.
Yeah, you're right there. It was a very tough decision for me, a very draining, emotional one as well. It was a tough time for me.
Well, your old club, Port Adelaide, your old Essendon AFL club, joined the AFL and they came and made a big pitch to you. What swayed you in the finish?
I think it was the fact that I was a Port Adelaide junior and I grew up playing footy for that club from under 12s right up to under, through the grades to under 17s, and made my league debut there with the Port Magpies. And just having that Port Adelaide influence in me, it made it hard to turn down.
Was it financial in the finish, or was it all spiritual?
It was all spiritual. It wasn't financial at all.
And the captaincy? I mean, the Port offered you the captaincy. You were reluctant to take that, weren't you?
To be honest with you, I didn't want the captaincy. I was only 23 years of age, and I felt that I'm too young. I'm used to playing alongside guys like Bomber Thompson, Tim Watson, Simon Madden, early days at the Bombers, all these leaders. I didn't have to do any of that stuff, so I felt I was too young, and I didn't want that added responsibility. I was just happy to get out there and do my thing.
When you finally decided that Port was going to win your heart, how did you go about the task of telling Kevin Sheahan, telling the blokes you played with?
That's a good question, Mike, and that probably to this day, doesn't sit well with me. It's being 23 years of age, you're still quite immature. You're naive. You just do things differently. If I had my time again, I would have, rang the guys up and spoke to them in person. But no, I didn't. I didn't contact any of the players. And
Sheedy included. Sheedy loved you, didn't he? Like
yeah, we had a conversation. Sheeds and I had a conversation in a cafe at Essendon, and he pleaded his case, and it was really hard for me listening. And he said stuff like, trying to convince me, like, do you know how hard it's going to be in a new club, getting tagged every week, getting smashed. Your team will be getting, smashed week in, week out. Do you really want to go back and do, stuff like that? And I can understand, looking back on it now, why he had said those things. But yeah, look, my departure and the way I didn't really speak to the players on that really hurt. Even to this day, I feel really bad about it. What
you're telling me is that you didn't tell the blokes you'd spent the previous 6 years with, and did you tell Sheedy directly? I've got a feeling you didn't.
I've got a feeling you're right.
I'm not laughing at that. But
no, that's fine. And you know what?
So it doesn't sit comfortably with you?
No, it doesn't. It certainly doesn't. And I hold guilt to this day because of that. But if there is such a thing as defence, I was 23 years of age. I was a young 23-year-old. I was still like a teenager at 23. So I didn't know how to. I was too ashamed, too shy, too embarrassed. I could never front up and tell the boys, this is what happened. I'd probably just break down and crumble. So it was a hard decision for me. It was the hardest footy decision I've ever had to make.
There was a rumour at the time, Gav, that Port Adelaide had said to you, we'll set you up in a McDonald's franchise. Was that true?
That is not true.
Are you aware of that?
I'm aware of it. I hear it even to this day.
Retrospectively, was it the right decision to leave Essendon when you did?
When they won the premiership in 2000, it was the hardest day for me because basically I'd missed out on a premiership, and I thought to myself, maybe it's the wrong decision. I should have been there. Have I made the wrong decision? And I said to myself, if I don't play in a premiership with Port Adelaide, the decision wouldn't have been worth it.
And you did. You played in the 2004 flag with Port Adelaide and played a pretty significant role in that with 4 goals. Amazing that the premierships are 11 years apart. I mean, blokes who win one and they win it young sort of say, look, they didn't appreciate it, but you got the second go at it, didn't you? Yeah,
you're right. You don't know how to appreciate it. It doesn't mean it's less special. I mean, they're both special to me. But to win that second one at 31 years of age, on the down peak of my career, was quite special. You just know how to appreciate things so much more in a premiership. You know how hard they are to come by, and it was an amazing day.
Given the way you left Essendon, are you comfortable? Was it awkward for you to go back to Essendon, say, for premiership anniversaries? There was a premiership anniversary in 2003. Did you attend that?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, it is awkward. It is. It's tough. It's still emotional. I don't. Why is that? I mean, I'm a lot older now, and you think, in a way, you still feel like you let them down. And because the club is so special to me, it still is. I still have red and black blood in my body. I spent 6 wonderful years there. Premiership player, Brownlow medalist, and All Australians, and sort of made a name. Well, the club made my name. They've done so much for me, and I felt I'd let them down. So even to this day, when I'm at functions, I feel like I've let them down. I don't know. That's weird.
1993, amazing year for you. A flag, a Brownlow medal, and your peers vote you the most courageous player in the AFL, and you're 20 years of age.
Yeah.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, yeah, Mike. It was an unbelievable year that just flew by with all those things, and being so young, it just felt like a dream. And yeah, the Courageous Player Award is pretty special to me because I think I'm the only other player who've ever won it, because when I was playing, Glenn Archer won it.
He won it every year, didn't he?
5,000 times.
Yeah,
so,
he did, yeah.
That's pretty special.
Gee, look, you're an amazingly exciting player, and brave and adventurous and all those sort of things. I mean, I think we're all amazed how good you were. You made your debut at 17 and just seemed to be no bounds to what you could do on the football field.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Mike. I just love to play footy, and yeah, I felt I wanted to be creative when I got the footy, and just love playing footy in the backyard at home. So maybe, being a young Indigenous boy from Adelaide who grew up in the northern suburbs in Salisbury, we didn't have much, maybe just a footy. So I had to battle with my cousins fighting for that, and we'd like to be play with a bit of flair.
You're probably 75, 78 kilos playing for the Bombers, and just never took your eyes off the footy, dived on it, all that. How did you survive?
When you're young, you feel invincible as well, from 19 to 19, 20, 21, 22, you just feel like you can't break. So who knows what it is, all that testosterone running through your body, you just feel like you're invincible, and I just played that way.
We're going back more than 20 years ago. You're an outstanding player. That was a period in which there was probably some things said on the football field that shouldn't have been. Were you ever racially vilified on the field?
Yes, I was, Mike, yep.
Often, or occasionally, or only once?
It happened twice, actually. Yeah, it happened twice. In 92 and then again in 93. So.
How deeply did that stuff cut?
Yeah, I felt it went deep. I felt really sad about it deep down. I didn't say anything back.
Wounded or sad, or both?
Both. It cut deep, cut really deep, and I didn't say anything. I was only 19 and 20, and I just kept it to myself.
Did you talk to, say, Michael Long about it, or any of the other Indigenous boys at Essendon?
I did speak to Longy about it, and we just felt that we'd just keep the lid on it, because it was in 93 and we didn't want to, things were going okay. So I think we just felt that would have I known how to handle the media attention, being such a young lad, and I was very, very shy. But yeah, look, I won't mention who those guys were. Look,
So there was two guys on two different occasions?
Two different teams, yep.
Do you harbour any resentment still towards them, or have you got a relationship with them? Any apologies ever extended?
No apologies, but I do know they've learnt from it, and I do have respect for them. Yeah, so, and that's a good thing.
Okay. More recently, Gavin, Robert De Pieterminico said of you, not bad for an abo. Now, my view of Dipper is that there was no malice intended that at all. Do you have the same view, and what was your reaction when you heard of that?
Yeah, look, I know Dipper, and there was no malice, and he's definitely not a racist person. It was a slip of the tongue thing from him, and he was deeply, deeply sorry and ashamed of those comments. And I've forgiven Dipper. He rang me up, which was great. But on the flip side, I think it was an opportunity, an opportunity for the rest of the public to be educated about the old slip of the tongue. The day and age that we live in, it's all about respecting everyone and their cultures. So a good thing come of it.
What's your favourite Bomber memory? Is it the flag?
Yeah, definitely the flag, and all of that. Actually, 1993. There's a lot of games during that year that were good crunch games, and I felt really privileged and excited to play, like the prelim final.
Yep.
Against Adelaide when we were down by 7 goals, and Sheeds, got into us at half time and spoke to us about, our families that are in the stand. Don't let this opportunity go. Don't let them down. You know what you're playing for, and he just really motivated us to get going there. And I think it was another important game against West Coast. Was
that the
22?
Jacket waving game?
The original day of Sheeds. That was a pretty big game for us.
You were pretty good that day from memory.
I remember that day very, very well.
Happy with your form?
Oh, I was happy.
You can say it.
I was happy.
You say I was good?
Yeah.
I think you might have been everyone's pick as BOG that day.
It was a special day, and I think that consolidated our spot in the finals.
Of all the Essendon players that you've played with, lots of stars among them, who did you get the most fun out of playing with?
Oh, look, that's hard to pinpoint. I love playing with Longy, though. Brilliant, scintillating player, just explosive. I mean, his final series in 1993, I think, was probably the best I've ever seen in my day. But I really enjoyed playing, obviously, with Merckx and obviously James Hird. These guys, they're very special players, those two. I mean, Mercedes as well, you can throw him in there, but Merckx and Hirdy, in my opinion, Merckx's best game is as good as Hirdy's best game.
Yep.
Without a shadow of doubt. Merckx was silk.
He was a brilliant player, wasn't he?
Oh, mate, he 5'10", skinny. He can mark on people's heads. He was smooth as a cat, picking the ball up the ground. He could run. He can kick. Very silky, like Hirdy.
Tell me about the impact on your life that Kevin Sheedy exerted.
Yeah, look, Sheeds has been a huge support for me, even to this day. Like, he's just such a genuine person. He loves his players dearly, and he'll go to war for them, and he has a genuine care and passion to protect them. And he did it for me when on the footy field back in 92, I think it was early days of 92, might have been about round 4 at the MCG. I think we might have been playing against your beloved D's. A message came out to me from the runner saying, and I was playing half-forward flank, part-time on ball, Gav, you're going to back pocket or you're going to half-back on so-and-so. I said, what? What do I do there? And that was Kevin Sheedy's way of looking after me. When he couldn't physically be out on the field for me, he's making moves for me. So he kick-started my career as a running back defender, and it was because I was getting knocked around a little bit as a young 18-year-old, or just turning 19. The halfback flankers were bullying me around a bit. Still, I wasn't physically, up for that. So he even protected me on the footy field.
I don't think this is drawing too long a bow. You revolutionised the way back pocket was played. You seemed from the outside looking in that you didn't care who you were playing on. It was see ball, get ball. Yeah,
it was, and I wanted to play attacking. I just wanted to win the footy, so I'd go for my marks. I'd try and spoil the ball down and win my own crumb, and I'm off. I'm off like a rat up a drain pipe, and I want to hit leading forwards. Wanted to make them chase me. I want to make them, I wanted to be attacking. I was attacking guy, or footballer. So, I can honestly feel that I felt that I, maybe contributed to that attacking style of footy.
Who do you love watching play now?
Oh, look, obviously, Ablett. He's obviously amazing to watch. I used to love his dad, actually.
You talk about Ablett. You actually played in one of Ablett Senior's most famous appearances, the 14 goals against the Bombers.
Yep. 21 scoring shots, 14 goals, 7. I was playing at half-back and pulled Salmon up the other end, kicked 10.
Yeah.
And Bombers, we won the game. Gary Ablett Senior was... he was a freak. He was an absolute freak. I mean, check sides from the boundary line 45 metres out on the wrong side that you should be doing the check side.
Yeah.
What can you say?
Have you ever seen a more gifted player than Gary Ablett Senior?
No. And anyone tells me otherwise,
You don't believe it?
no.
Yeah. Let's go back to Port Adelaide in your first year there. You seem to, a lot of us from the outside, be a different Gavin Wanganeen to the one that played at Essendon. More aggressive. You were the captain, but you seem to struggle to get in balance the level of aggression that you needed to show. Is that a fair comment?
Yeah, you're right there, Mike. Being the captain, being a young fellow, I felt for me personally, my style would be to play hard, aggressive footy as hard as I can, and hopefully the boys would follow and play along those lines. And yeah, I got reported on quite a few occasions along the way, so I had to step back and because I was obviously hurting the team, not playing. So.
Well, you actually missed the first game, Port Adelaide's first game in the AFL, didn't you? Because you were suspended. Yeah,
that's right. I missed the first ever AFL game that Port Adelaide played in 1997 at the MCG. I got reported down in a practice game down in Port Lincoln against the Tigers.
The AFL Encyclopedia says that there was an umpire pushing incident involving you.
I actually got reported for striking Ashley Prescott.
Okay.
But I tried to explain to the umpire that it was a slap. I just went like that and towards him, and he moved back. Like, I thought I was going to, I don't know, do something to him, but I was trying to remonstrate. I said, all I did was that there, and he moved back. So it was, I think, more of a big deal was made out of it.
So there was no charge over that?
No charge whatsoever.
Okay, it was just okay. As it happened, you missed round one, you play in round two, and you play the Bombers. Footy Park.
Yep.
How difficult was that, given that you'd played in a preliminary final team the previous year with Essendon?
Yep.
Your first game in new colours is against Essendon.
That's the weirdest I've felt ever running onto a footy field, and during the game as well. That feeling stayed with me the whole game. I just felt I couldn't really describe how I was feeling, other than it felt so weird, so odd. These boys I was playing with 6 months ago, played with them for 6 years. I grew up with them, Merckx, Hurdy. Hurdy and I rocked up the training our first ever pre-season, back in '91. So all these boys, Mercedes, Cal Thorpe, Rick, all the boys, they were there, and I'm playing against them. It was a weird feeling. It was hard to play.
Any sledging?
There was not one bit of sledging, not one.
That was because, and that is a testament to the respect and affection that the Essendon Blokes had for you.
Yeah, I think there was that mutual respect there, and the only comment I got, and that was from Smoking Joe Mercedes, that was, "Wanga, how are you?"
On the ground?
On the ground. I remember that clearly. So.
You had a massive impact at Essendon. I mean, you played 6 seasons there, won the Brownlow, but you were named number 19 in the best 25 players to ever represent this footy club, and in the back pocket in the team of the century. Huge, isn't it? It
is, yeah. Look, very privileged to be named in that side. It's amazing. I spent 6 years there, 127 games. That's amazing. You look.
You know who you beat for the back pocket, don't you? Bomber Thompson.
Yeah, he's in the side though.
No, he's on the bench. You're in the back pocket.
Gee, he could play. He was tough.
Yeah. Let's go to the year 2004. It's preliminary final day. It's half-time. G. Wanganeen hasn't had a touch. How did you feel going into half-time, given your role in that footy team and your seniority?
I felt disgusted myself. I was playing it in the forward pocket, starvation corner, and so I was thinking to myself, please, Choco, or boys, get me in the middle. And Choco, just pulled me aside,
And said what?
Gav, you haven't touched it. You haven't touched it. Come on, I need you. I need you. Then I thought to myself, well, okay, it's not about me, and I'm playing it in the forward line. I need to kick a couple of goals because it wasn't a high-scoring game. So I thought, okay, well, I don't care how many possessions I get. I'm just going to kick some goals here. And I kicked a couple of really important goals.
You did.
And to put us in front.
You actually, one.
Sealer with about 30 seconds to go.
Yeah.
It was my best ever goal. It put us into a grand final.
Your best ever goal.
Well, it put us in the grand final.
Yeah. 7 days later, you kicked the most goals in the grand final. You kicked 4 for Port Adelaide, and the club wins its first premiership. How sweet was that?
It was very sweet, Mike. The previous few years, we...
Bit of excitement there, mate.
There was. I've never known or renowned for celebrating a goal, but I celebrated those 4 goals that day.
Yeah.
It was, the previous few years we'd won more games than any other team, and we hadn't got over the line when it counted, and that was during the finals. So a lot of hard work had gone unrewarded, and 2004 was the year that it's make or break, like careers, in your mind. Like if we had lost that year, it's like we'd be twisted old men by now. It's like, we had to win that premiership. Choco just said at one of the meetings, I think it was Friday night, I want you to go out there. I want you to take the game on. The shackles are released. Go out there and take the game on and have fun and make it up. That way we're unpredictable. We show a little bit of flair, and you need a little bit of flair on grand final day. That's what breaks games open from time to time. So you've got to roll the dice.
There was a secondary meeting, wasn't there?
Well, us Indigenous boys, there was obviously Peter Burgoyne, Sean Burgoyne, Byron Pickett, and myself. And I always roomed with Peter, and Sean always roomed with Byron. And so Peter and I, decided to go and see Byron and Sean to see what they're up to. Maybe it was to comfort one another because, we were nervous. I was extremely nervous because 31 years of age, it's my last crack. I was so nervous. I didn't even eat breakfast the next morning. I couldn't even keep it down. We watched a bit of TV, had a bit of a chat, and I don't know who started it off, whether it was me or Peter or Byron, but basically we said, boys, if we play well tomorrow, if us 4 play really well tomorrow, we'll win. And we acknowledged and understood that, our roles are pretty important because we play a flairish and spontaneous game, and that can rip games apart, and lucky enough, it happened the next day.
All 4 of you were in the best players for Port Adelaide.
Yeah, maybe we should have had more meetings before games.
You won a best and fairest at Port Adelaide. You didn't win one at Essendon. Where did you think you had your best years?
I had some really good years in 93 and 94 at Essendon. It's hard to say whether they were any better than my years at Port Adelaide, but there is one year that really stands out for me, and it was in 2003. Choco released me from defence and gave me more freedom, and I played on the wing for about 15 games of the year. I was one of the favourites of the Brownlow that year, and I came second by a vote. So I have to say my 2003 year at Port Adelaide was my best every year, just consistently. Because I had the opportunities in the midfield. You just get more opportunities.
One more vote, you would have joined illustrious company, wouldn't you?
Yeah, the three-way tie between Goods, Rashudo and Buckley, they finished on 22 votes, and I finished on 21. And the last game of the year, I got 2 votes instead of the 3 votes that year.
Did you deserve 3?
The paper says I did.
Oh, the paper's got it right, did they? The 2004 premiership, you win that, you celebrate, you go back to the hotel, your jumper goes missing. The pain of losing it initially and the joy and the relief of when it was returned to you this year, 2014.
Yeah, Mike, on grand final day after the siren, we had the celebrations, we went into the rooms. I put my jumper into the bag and had my shower, went back, got changed, closed my bag up. I didn't know whether it had gone missing between those times. Might have gone missing back at the hotel because the next morning when I got to my bag, I opened it up and my jumper was gone, and I was just devo. I was just absolutely shattered. And then 10 years later, it's still missing. And I thought I'd never ever see it again. And then this year, the club sent out a social media campaign to hunt the jumper down, and they hammered it like big time. And someone rang up the footy club and said they got the jumper. Kenny Hinkley rang me up and said, Gav, I want you to come and speak to the boys about taking the game on. That was your go. So I went in and spoke to the boys, had no idea whatsoever what was going to happen after. So I spoke to the boys, professionally, and told them, listen, spoke about 10, 15 minutes. Kane comes up, thanks, Gav, I've got this little flat box. It's about,
cane corns,
about an inch and a half high. It's maybe 8 inches wide. Hey, Gav, here's just a present to say thanks for speaking to us boys today. And he said, it's just your friend, you've been missing your friend for a while. And I didn't actually hear that. And then I took it off him and I walked away. He said, no, you need to open it now. I said, do I? No, you've got to open it now. So I opened it up and had a look. And I looked at it a bit harder and I thought, in that instant, oh, that's nice of the club. They've got me a replica premiership jumper. And I was thinking, oh, it's no big deal. And then I looked at it and I saw like some grass stains on the side. And then I flipped it over and I saw a little bit of blood there, some champagne marks, some Powerade marks, and I knew straight away it was mine. And I said, you serious? It's a real deal? And I got the box and I threw the box on the ground, didn't even know, and I just started crying.
Yeah.
It just meant so much because I felt like I almost didn't play there. Well, where's your grand final jumper?
Yeah.
That's how I was feeling all those years, and I finally got it back, and now I can keep it.
Who do you back for when Port plays Essendon?
Look, I hope it's a great game.
Oh, good for you. Is that what you're going to give me? I hope it's a great game.
Look, Mike, it's a tough one. Oh, gee.
I've got a feeling.
Do I have to answer this?
I've got a feeling it's the Bombers, and you're too scared to say so.
Look, I don't know. You can't give everything away in your own. You've got to keep something special.
See what the title says? It's open mic.
It's not fully open, is it, Mike?
Obviously not. Now, the other thing, and this may sway you, is I was at the Adelaide Oval recently. I saw the new grandstand. There's some massive names up there, one of whom is yours, Wanganeen and Rashudo on the other end. That's good company, isn't it? You must be really thrilled with that.
Yeah, Mike, it's a huge honour. It's amazing when the SNFL committee rang me up and asked me if they could use my name on the grandstand. I just couldn't believe it. It's like, really? Like the new Eastern Stand? Yep. So I said yes, of course.
But Gav, you're one of the most exciting players that most of us have seen play the game. We love watching you at the Bombers because we saw you every other week, but your contribution to Port Adelaide is immense for such a young club and to be part of their first premiership team. Well played, it's been a great career and we've loved it.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me. Cheers.
This has been a Fox Footy production.
A proud member of the Fox Sports family.